Welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. In this episode, we first of all need to go talk to the Storyteller, which is actually something that I've put off for way too long now. Because it does involve a bit of text, but it has to be done. There are some fairly important points in what the Storyteller tells us, and he will also give us another quest that we need to do. I have cleaned up our inventory and also put out some of the equipment on various characters. Social is apparently painting a Nevia. I'd like to talk to him first. In Social's drawing, Anevia is wearing a sundress and standing on a riverbank. There are flowers in her hair and a dreamy smile on her face. So weird. I don't remember the last time I wore a dress. Anevia pulls at the leather strap of her armor, musingly. I'd like to, again, later, when the war is over. I think it will suit you. Thank you, Anevia smiles. For a moment, her face is as carefree as in the picture. Social, I need to talk to you. Yes, Anevia, if you'll excuse me. Can I keep the drawing? Of course, Commander. Okay, the Storyteller. The blind elf whispers something under his breath. Hearing your steps, he turns to you slowly. Greetings, Cal. Have you brought me a new story? Hand over the blood-stained page. I found this in the molten scar. The Storyteller cringes and puts his hand on the blood-stained page. His face contorts into a painful grimace, his voice trembling with terror. No, he's here again. That terrible grating voice. The horrific semblance of a face. A monstrous appearance, myriad insects forming a body with 2 arms and 2 legs. He touches me and the disgusting creatures attack my flesh, covering me. They are eating me. They are hungry and will devour everything except my eyes and tongue so that I can see this damn page, so that I can translate the runes written in the ancient, long-forgotten elven language. And I translate. It hurts so much. I tried to lie to him. I changed the translation, but he saw through my lie and he got angry. Now I'm not lying. I'm not. He takes one of the insects from my face and squishes it with his fingers over the inkwell. Then he dips the quill in it and writes with my blood right over the runes. And I continue to dictate. Callistria, when will this be over? Let me die. Xanthir, let me die. The Storyteller jerks back his hand, terrified. Oh gods, such horrible torture. This poor man was tortured to decrypt my notes. He was so tormented that his suffering became thick like molasses. My mind is drowning in it. My own memories are hidden by these images of horror. I can try to get through to them, but I will need your help. Tell me everything you've seen and heard. I will try to lean on your words to use them as a light in the darkness of my forgotten past. The Storyteller takes the blood-stained page carefully, as though handling a dangerous insect. I see a magic shape. There is a force pulsating in the center. You've seen the ritual. Tell me, what was its central point? Its magic knot? A dead man. They killed a crusader and conducted the ritual over his corpse. The Storyteller frowns. A dead man? I don't understand. I feel something else. A life. A living soul in the eye of the whirlwind. I don't understand how one ritual can tie up the energies of death and the abyss. Their currents in the world's ephemera are contradirectional. The Storyteller sighs weakly. Forgive me, Commander, I cannot get any further. Everything is vague and unclear, and the screams of the poor lad keeps ringing in my ears. I wonder if there was a correct answer to that. Let me just check that. Hold on, please. There was indeed one correct answer to that, so let's try that again, shall we? The center of the magic shape was a prison. The storyteller shivers. Yes, a storm of force, spiraling into a sharp knife, and a living soul inside in the eye of the whirlwind. There must be a living soul, for the knife is just a tool. The energies are too bright. I can't see through the glare. What did you see during the ritual? What was it like? It looked like a small rift was open to the abyss. Yes, a rift. An umbilical cord connecting the worlds, allowing not only sentient creatures, but planar energies to travel through it. I remember it, and the sound, I remember the sound. Words appealing to some force. Those performing the ritual, did they utter some incantations? They repeated the word Ravuk. The old elf is out of breath, overwhelmed by memories. Ravuk. No name. An old word with tremendous power. The language to which it belongs died a long time ago, but the power of this word lives on. In the past, wizards used it in rituals when they intended to do something far-reaching and contrary to the natural order of things. By hiding their names, they protected themselves from the consequences and the wrath of the gods. Ravuk, I have no name. You will not find me. The storyteller trembles as if he's about to fall. Now I remember. I know where I saw this ritual, part of it. I am one step closer to understanding what happened to me. Thank you. If you find more pages like this, please bring them to me. Maybe by putting them together I will be able to lift the veil on the mysteries surrounding my story. And then we have to give him 2 pages. The storyteller clenches the pages you brought, and his voice becomes a bit younger and more energetic. My hand touches the stone wall, and the cold pierces my palm like the teeth of a hungry dog sinking into a piece of meat. I don't take my hand away. I let the stone enjoy my warmth in return for its service. It accepts my caress and my unasked question, the one it's been asked thousands upon thousands of times. Where should I go next? Behind me I hear the loud stomping of the minotaurs that guard this god's forsaken place. I tricked and outwitted them, leaving only a trace of my presence. There is darkness lurking up ahead, honing its swords, claws, and teeth in the hope that a rare traveller visits its lair. But today it will get no one. This labyrinth is alive. Its red-veined stone walls resemble the guts of a huge creature. If you keep still and listen closely, you can hear it breathing in the wind that sweeps through this place. Where do I go from here? Forward, to the place whence the wind carried a faint chuckle, whence comes the faint smell of ash, whence a few ages ago Demon Lord Baphomet began his great escape. Baphomet? Are you inside his labyrinth? Yes, I am travelling through the Ivory Labyrinth. This is not the most pleasant of my journeys, but it is necessary to reach my goal. How are you able to evade all the dangers of the Ivory Labyrinth? The storyteller raises his chin proudly. Have you forgotten who you are speaking to? I am the last Archmage of Kyonin. I have been to many dangerous places, and this is just one of the many, and it won't be the last. What do you need from there? An answer to a question, a key to a secret, knowledge that can save many lives. A sliver of a smile appears on the storyteller's lips. My kinfolk were weaklings and cowards. They ran from danger, but one stood up to my enemy, and Baphomet will give me the weapon to win. Please, continue. For several years I have thought about how to defeat Earthfall. My enemy has no flesh and is impossible to kill. It blazes through everything in its path. It doesn't enslave, but destroys life itself. And I have found the answer. I know how to save my world. Earthfall came to destroy Golarion. Its strike was brutal, and my world barely withstood it. But what if Earthfall was resisted by not one world, but several worlds at once? What if Heaven or Elysium come to help the dying Golarion? If I manage to merge my world with another one, meld them together, the power of the disaster will weaken. The denizens of Golarion will be able to temporarily take shelter in the adjacent plane, Civilizations will not die. Our culture will continue to exist. We will not be forgotten. Baphomet, the cunning and insidious Lord of Minotaurs, was once a captive in Asmodeus' prison, but only 10 years passed before Baphomet was able to escape, taking his own prison with him, which later became the Ivory Labyrinth. Such an achievement deserves respect, and it is the goal of my research. Moving matter between planes is what interests me now. I stop near strange symbols covering the wall of the labyrinth. I run my hand over them to ensure they are real. Encrypted riddles drawn by Baphomet during his imprisonment. I take out the bark-covered notebook and painstakingly copy the symbols into it. Behind me, 2 minotaurs are fighting, deceived by the net of spells I have wrapped around myself like a blanket. You want to connect the planes? That's dangerous. The elf is silent for a moment. When he talks, there is disdain in his voice. Dangerous. Difficult. Almost impossible. But tell me, is this risk not worth the Thassalon Empire perishing before my eyes? Does Golgan, the Cyclopes' kingdom, deserve death? What about the Aboleth Empire? The storyteller moves his lips silently. Another plane will pay for saving Golarion. There will be wars, and then a new world will come, but we will survive. We will defeat Earthfall, and history will not condemn the victors. A bark-covered notebook, the one your mentor gave you? The storyteller lowers his head, but a moment later jerks it back up. Yes. Blinded by my pride, I tore it to pieces when I thought I would not follow my kinfolk. I am still not going to run, but the knowledge written in this notebook by my former mentor might serve my purpose. The elves managed to open a portal to Severian, and keep it open until all our people escape from Golarion. Their cowardice deserves disdain, but their knowledge is unquestionable. I returned to Kyonin and gathered the pieces of my torn notebook. Now it is my sword aimed at the heart of Earthfall. By combining the wisdom of elves and the cunning of Baphomet, I will save the world. What happened next? I copied the strange symbols into the notebook. I haven't the slightest idea what these scribbles mean. What was the future Demon Lord thinking when he wrote them, while he was still imprisoned in a cell with no way out? Was he still in his right mind? I will need help to understand these notes, otherwise decrypting them might take more time than Pharasma has given me. One of the minotaurs behind me killed the other one, tore his heart out and devoured it. His blood-stained nose sniffs the air sharply. His bloodshot eyes shift from wall to wall. He senses a stranger, but he doesn't scare me. I am certain of my powers and the spells hiding me. I've done my work and can now leave this place. And still, I linger. What is this strange presence I feel behind me? Like someone is watching me, despite all the protective spells. Who are you? I ask carefully, not hoping for an answer. Darkness. A coy female voice whispers in my ear. Against my will, I shudder. The storyteller stops talking for a long while. Vision ended at the most interesting moment, didn't it? He says bitterly at last. Please, find the rest of the pages from this bark-covered book. I must know what happened next. This is just going through the same again, because I want it to be grayed out. Another page. Another page. And then we need one more before he will tell us more. I would like to discuss our encounter in the dragon's lair. I am sure you do. You're wondering how I ended up there and why I wasn't killed. Am I right? Why did you go to the tower? I've been looking for a certain tower for several years now, and in that place I had a strange feeling of recognition. It seems that tower once belonged to me a long time ago. Knowing my habits, I assumed that some records or other items that could answer the questions about my past may have remained in my home. Unfortunately, I realized too late that the tower was now the lair of a monster. How come the dragon didn't eat you? Despite their beastly tempers, dragons are clever creatures, but their way of life does not lend itself to civilized conversation, which is why they do sometimes enjoy a good chat, and even more, a good story. And that was what saved me. I I had to share a few of my stories with the dragon, hoping to win her over, or at least distract her. Did you find anything of value in the tower? The storyteller nods politely. Yes, thanks to you, the dragon didn't have time to burn everything. I found the memories of my previous life, which I had forgotten long ago. Now everything is clear. Once again, please accept my gratitude for the miraculous rescue. I hope I never again have cause to meet a creature as voracious as that dragon. I shall return to you when I have more pages or, well, wait, items. The old elf carefully takes Yarniel's sword Radiance. Powerful forces lie dormant in this sword. It used to belong to an incredibly bright and daring soul. Now it is just a shard of the past, but I feel its power. The elf carefully strokes Terendalev's claw. Only a great power can resist the most terrifying of enemies, oneself. Please, allow me to immerse myself in this memory and learn the story of the spiritual resurrection of the greatest of silver dragons. The storyteller's hand touches Finian. What a peculiar weapon. I sense intelligence in it, but it seems dented. Grandpa Elf, watch where you're poking your fingers. It tickles. The storyteller fiddles with a fragment of a gold buckle. An old thing created long ago by divine will, but the power that gave birth to it is lost in the darkness. However, the relic still lives on, though it has changed. I wonder what secret it is hiding. Would you like to know it? Bring me 5 vials of magic essence and I will revive this object, and with it, its story. A fragment of a ring appears in the old man's hand. What a powerful item. This ring was created by an inquisitive and free mind. As a rule, such people either become geniuses and creators of a new era, or meet tragic ends. What was the fate of the creator of this object? We can find out together. Get me 4 vials of magic essence and 2 bars of cold iron, and I will reforge this ring. The old elf gently touches the crumpled metal of the gauntlets. I sense the souls of the 2 who were bound to this relic. One was an animal, the other a man, but neither was the master of the other. They were brothers. A most intriguing tale. Do you want to hear it? If you bring me 1 vial of magic essence, 4 bars of cold iron, and 2 vials of demon blood, I can revive this relic and see into its past. The storyteller carefully runs his fingers over the shabby boots. The scent of pain emanates from this object. The pain of a mortal and of the spirits close to them. Whatever the story behind this item, it is dark and tragic. Let us try to repair this relic to learn its tale, shall we? And the cost? That is present Radiance. What do you see in Radiance's past? The storyteller touches the blade with his finger. Sadness rings in his voice. Dresden is doomed. Demons attacked right when we lost the protection of the Sword of Valor. My city, my bastion of hope. We built you as a symbol that the lands mutilated by the Abyss could still be restored to mortals. Now you are perishing and there is nothing I can do. We retreat. No, we flee. A frightened crowd rushes out into the night through the southern gate. They are chased by the angry howls of demons killing the last defenders of the citadel. My heart goes out to them, but I'm standing still on the wall. I am covering the retreat. The demons do not attack. They seethe around you, fall from the sky, strike from all sides at once. They can't be stopped, but they can be distracted. I run to the upper floor of the gate tower. Radiance glows with the golden light in my hands. I permit myself to close my eyes for just 1 heartbeat. I imagine that the soft glimmering of the sword I see through my closed eyelids is the light of the summer sun. I smile. I open my eyes and call out, "Hey, the Scaris spawn. Who wants the best trophy of the night? You know my name, Yarniel. You know how many of you I have killed with this very hand? You want to curry favour with Durazand, Minago, or the echo of your lord. Bring them my head, if you can." Roaring and screaming, they rush toward me in a wave of deformed bodies and unfurled wings. The wave crashes against me, spattering my armor with bloody froth. Broken wings and chopped up bodies plummet to the foot of the tower. In the heat of battle, I see Joran's pale face down there. He looks up at me in desperation, but he can't help. He's carrying 2 wounded on his shoulders. My city will fall, but my friends will survive. This is what I'm fighting for. I am covering the retreat. The flow of fleeing people gradually dwindles. My armor is broken in many places, and I cannot heal my wounds anymore. The last demon I stabbed with radiance suddenly recoils, tearing the handle out of my blood-slickened hand. He flies up, but falls somewhere far behind the walls, by the road being taken by those fleeing. No more golden glow in my hands. The night closes in on me, filled with shrieking, mocking demon laughter. Dresden, I am dying with you. Light of the sword, righteous Iomade, accept my soul. The storyteller runs his hand along the blade with a sad smile. I know whose memory this is. I've heard about her so many times. Yarniel was a true crusader. Touching her memories is so cleansing. Do you see the future of this sword? I am holding it. I'm holding it again. Radiance, you are as beautiful as ever. Your blade is as sharp and deadly as it was years ago. But I am not. Well, at least time spared you. My good friend, my faithful comrade. I swear every night when the darkest terrors invaded my dreams, the memory of you chased them away. In my dreams, your hilt was in my hand, and no one could stand against us. Be happy, Radiance. You've found yourself a good master. Then we have Terendilev's Claw. Tell me Terendilev's story to the end. I shall have a sip of water before I do that, though. The storyteller hangs his head, looking sickly and tired. How many times has the moon died and been reborn since I've been here? I have lost count. My friends brought me here. They said goodbye to me, like always, but they looked at me like it was the last time they'd see me. Cowards, insidious spawn. They were glad I was going to die. But I'll show them. Terendilev will live. A new Terendilev whose eyes are finally open. I hear the rustling of wings and I emerge from the cave where I imprisoned myself. Who is it? A friend? An enemy? Sunbeams refract off his scales as he hovers before me, surrounded by a glowing halo. The gold dragon Halaseliax. A part of me wants to fly to him and make a circle of honor around him, as any good student should. But the part of me that turned my scales black is ready to seize his gleaming throat. How dare he fly here, flaunting his purity and innocence? He wants to humiliate me, drag me through the mud. I will show him. Now, what am I thinking? My mentor has come all this way to save me, I know. He would never abandon me. Someone called him to my aid. Moving heavily, I take flight to greet him, but my body, controlled by the foulness, straightens like an arrow. His vulnerable throat is so close. One strike and I will destroy you, Halaseliax. What happened next? Did Halaseliax survive? I don't know. But I know the place where Terendilev was believed to have sought refuge for her tarnished soul. I saw Sarkorian ruins, a wide-branching tree next to them. Perhaps there will be something there that will shed some light on the fate of mentor and student. Something that can tell us how Terendilev's strength of spirit helped her to ultimately overcome the foulness within her. Can you say anything about Terendilev's future? The storyteller frowns. It's so strange that you should ask. We all know what happened to Terendilev, but sometimes it seems I hear her voice in the visions. Her voice full of pain and despair, as if she is in darkness which she cannot escape. I cannot solve the mystery of this vision, but it worries me. I thank you for this story, storyteller. And thank you, Cal. And then we have Finian. Tell me what you see. Hello, Grandpa Elf. The storyteller carefully takes Finian from your hands. Hello, Finian. He closes his eyes and takes a deep breath. His face contorts into a painful grimace. I'm coming to again. How long have I been here? They kept me in a cage for 3 days. I know this because 3 times the light under the door disappeared for a long time. Then they chained me to the table, and the bladesmith, everyone calls him the bladesmith, he placed a device with a jar over me. Feels like I'm being fried. At first I tried to break free, but I got tired. Then I screamed, but now I've lost my voice, though the pain is burning right through me. The storyteller stops. His voice changes, becoming more frightened. I think I lost consciousness again, but when I woke up the pain was gone, and I wasn't tied to the table anymore. I was standing near it, and someone else was lying on the table, a burnt corpse covered with a black crust. The master was taking out a handsaw and was sawing off his head in a very focused way. I should have run back then, but I couldn't for some reason. This burned corpse had a symbol on his belt, just like I do, an eye and a star. My favorite belt. A good one. Where would a stranger get one? It must have been someone from my clan, some distant family member. The storyteller stops. When he speaks again, you hear only a muffled whisper. Those crusaders, I was glad when I saw them. I thought they'd come to help, but how? How was it I killed them all? Someone told me to and I obeyed. I don't understand. I understand nothing now. I need to catch my breath. I need all this to stop, even just for a minute. I just have to understand what's happening to me. Just need to rest. The storyteller shakes his head, slowly coming to his senses. That is Finian's past, but what awaits him in the future? The dead have no future, but... The storyteller smiles. I see an endless ocean on a good day, and a boat flying over the waves. I am so excited, but I don't know whose vision this is. This is soul existing here and now. Now? Or a soul reborn? Thank you for your story. The storyteller gives Finian back to you. Please, take care of this young lad. He's finally in the right hands. Do not worsen his suffering by involving him in dishonorable deeds. Come on, Grandpa Elf. I can take care of myself. I'm not a kid. I don't know what horrors you were talking about, but don't you worry about it, alright? Look after yourself. I just want to look up what these relics are. Please forgive me. Yeah, the boots we definitely want to restore when we can, but for now let's restore the broken buckle. Please restore this relic for me. The elf cautiously uncorks the vials and begins to work his enchantments. The essence evaporates, turning into light that streams onto the buckle. The light thickens, becoming gold. The Covenant of the Inheritor, that is the name of this relic. This buckle once adorned the belt of a glorious knight from Mendev. It is the embodiment of a promise made to a young girl by a powerful deity. A great promise that has changed much in the world. When you touch the restored relic, a strange vision comes to you. It's as if you can see the events that happened to it in the past. A burning sensation spreads across your chest from the very spot where your mysterious wound sometimes opens. What is this? The influence of the storyteller's spells, or is it something else? I had a vision. The old elf frowns. How strange. You are a remarkable mortal. No one has ever shared my visions before. What do you think caused it? Perhaps these things have something to do with your destiny, or the fate of someone related to you. I do not have an answer, only advice. Seek out such relics, look for what links them all, and you will know the truth. The other two I'm not going to restore now, because I want the boots primarily. I don't think there's any other things. No, there isn't. So that buckle is quite powerful. The holy symbol of Iomade, when placed on the belt, emits a holy aura. All party members in a 30-foot area get a +2 bonus to cast or level checks made to overcome spell resistance. Their weapons become good aligned and count as if they were made of cold iron. That is a really good item. Speaking of which, does this book do anything now? No. Well, I don't summon things with him, so let's put the Covenant of the Inheritor on his belt. Okay, after that we should pop on into the keep again, just to enact some crusade decrees. The branch of the last ash. Upon their return, the knights presented the commander with the branch of the last ash. It is time to decide which kind of weapon will use the branch as its shaft. Clearly a bardish over a heavy pick. Cursed children. Demons have been stealing children in Canabras and possessing their bodies so they can get close enough to Crusaders to deliver a dagger strike. That is pretty nasty. The officers are asking how they should proceed when encountering the possessed. Vulnerable? Yeah, whatever. That's not really necessary. Saving the children must come first. No matter the circumstances, the warriors will try to save young lives, even at the cost of their own. The soldiers will follow this order without hesitation. The Royal Council has expressed their thanks to the commander for the integrity he demonstrated in the conflict with Andorran. A fresh corps of troops, pulled from garrisons of lesser importance, is headed for Dresden. Okay, development. We need to do these. How much do I have of each of these? Oh, I think we have enough. Economy, army, not really necessary. Command. We have plenty of morale. I think that one is an intermediary now. Let me just see if there is any of the others that I want to do. I don't think... Yeah, we do have the attractive impulse. Issue that. Good. Now, I think that I rested at the end of the last episode. I did not. So we shall, go have a nap. I think actually I stayed in the bedroom so that I would remember to rest at the beginning of this episode. That worked very well.
I saw a knight, a young woman, younger than me, but gray-haired, and with a fixed gaze, and I realized she's not going to return from this war, even if she survives.
Neither are we, Sociel. Not you, not me, but at least we'll be able to put an end to this war. So no one else will have to go through this.
Okay, yep, I think that's that. We'll call it an end to this episode here, and I'll push this episode out as a bonus episode in between the other ones, just for those who are interested in the lore. Not everyone might be interested in all this chattering and stuff, so if you have any questions and or comments, or if you just want to leave an emoji for the benefit of the YouTube algorithm deities, then please do so in the comment section below. I hope that you enjoyed the episode, and I hope to see you all in the next one, which will be more action-filled than this one was.